Hey, it's Blake Scarlevi with Route 16, and I'm back with another quick pro tip for you. This one revolves around Power Automate and a new preview actions that have come out for the Dataverse connector. So about a month or so ago, I was building up Power Automate using the Dataverse connector as I typically do. I noticed a lot of these new preview actions. So we've always had add a new row, right? Well, now we have add a new row to a selected environment. There's pretty much one for each action. So delete a row from selected environment. So I was kind of curious because when Power Automate first came out, we had this capability where we had to pick the environment that we're connecting to, right? Well, that was a pain because you start in dev, you deploy to QA, well, then you would have to manually change the environment to QA, right? So since then, for a long time now, it's always just uses the environment that you're currently in. So if I'm in dev, it's using dev. I push it to QA, it uses QA. So it makes sense. I don't have to make any changes, right? So now we're back to, now we have the option. We can use the current environment that we're in, or we can pick a specific environment. But it just didn't really make sense to me, so I just kind of ignored it, right? Well, then recently I've had the idea to come up with a Teams add-in using Power Automate. So if you're not familiar, there's a few Teams triggers we can use that'll basically make add-ins for Teams, right? So one is called From the Compose box, and when you're in Teams writing a message, you could pick your specific Power Automate to trigger it. So I've had this idea to be able to create a task for myself within our Route 16 CRM environment using Teams, right? So from here in this trigger from the Compose box, you have to create an adaptive card. You can have this nice UI where you drag and drop, right? Or you can edit the payload here in JSON. There's also an adaptive card website that has a nice builder where you can then just take the JSON, copy it in here. Not going to get into it too much, but basically I created like a simple card where I can fill out the subject, description, the date, and then it'll create a task for me inside our Route 16 environment that we use every single day. And so the one big limitation with this Teams is it has to be in the default environment in order for it to get to show up in your Teams app, right? So for me, that's kind of a pain because I'm in the default environment. That's not where my data is. That's not what we use. We use a production environment, right? So that's where I remembered that these new actions came out. So now I can hit Dataverse and I can specify Route 16 prod. I can get the data from there, kind of setting up some data, and then eventually I'm creating the task in Taproot. So this works perfectly for that because of the Teams limitation where I have to be in the default environment. But now I can be in the default environment and reach out to my specific production environment, right? So here, if we open up Teams, show you what it looks like. So I'm just in a little chat here with the workflows bot, but you could be anywhere in Teams. And then here at the Compose box, there's this ... Click that, and there's this workflows app. Click here, and if you have a flow that you own in the default environment and it's turned on, it'll show up here. So I have this create Taproot task, right? So I can click this, and it should pop open my adaptive card that we built, and then I can fill out the details for this, click create, and it's going to go into my production CRM environment that I use every day to manage my hours and projects and whatnot. So there you go. Nice little tip for you, and this helps get past that Teams limitation. So hope you enjoyed it.